Over to matters education now. The government has extended the online registration of students by 4 weeks now. Education Cabinet Secretary Amina Mohammed says only 9.3 million students have been registered under the National Education Management Information System. The Ministry of Education has also urged parents to use the school holiday window to register the remaining students, whose figures stand at 3 million. Students. Now, just to tell us more on this story, I'm now joined on phone by William Sossion, who is a KNUT Secretary General, as well as also doubles up as a nominated Member of Parliament. Good afternoon, Mr. Sossion. You've seen that development from the Ministry of Education. Perhaps what is causing the delay? Because we've seen extension of deadline. Was it in March? And now we're seeing yet another one. What is causing the delay in this registration?
Yeah, thank you. There is a big disconnect between issuance of birth certificates to children and parents, and of course registration of students under NEMIS. And I think that the government is getting it wrong. The first phase that should have been conducted is issuance of birth certificates with timeline and with a clear process being undertaken by government to issue birth certificates to millions and millions of children. It definitely is proving to be a long process. And we may require more time to ensure that learners are issued with birth certificates first before progressing to billing of NEMIS by the Ministry of Education. So I think the Ministry of Education is getting it wrong. It should be able to liaise with the other government departments, and we undertake, the country and the government undertake the process of first issuing the children with certificates. And when that is done, then it will be possible to keep the NEMIS data. Mm-hmm. The extension of 4 weeks may still not help. We will still have a huge backlog. Looking at those who have been entered, it is not even 50% of the target students. Otherwise, if the Ministry of Education sticks to the deadline that it has, it will never work. First, let us have all the children in the country issued with birth certificates within a given timeline, and that is verified and proved that already certificates have been issued. Once that is done, it has to be a drive of its own.
When Mr. Sossion, when you're saying that students and parents need more time, do you have a specific time frame in your mind, perhaps?
I think we need at least 3 months from now, so that work is done and done properly.
My final question, I'd like to hear your view on this, on the whole registration system itself, because the Ministry of Education says it's going to ease the management of schools in terms of distribution of textbooks, allocation of free education funds, and perhaps deployment of teachers. Do you think the system itself is a step in the right direction?
The system would work if it is done well. There is no doubt. The system would work. It will minimize wastage. It will minimize fraud. But what we are urging the ministry to do so that this process can succeed is to ensure that certificates are issued. The birth certificates are issued first. You cannot do the registration of NEMIS. NEMIS will not work. It is difficult to move if students have not been issued with birth certificates. So first of all, let us deal with the problem. The problem is birth certificates being issued. It's a complicated process. It needs time. And government has to shift focus to the issuance of certificates. And the ministry must adjust the timeline of keying in NEMIS in their data. If the deadline that I've given is anything to go by, then we are getting into more confusion. Right now, it's difficult to run schools because the head teachers and teachers are grappling with this data. They've stopped teaching, and it is cumbersome. Dealing with children who do not have birth certificates, then the whole process is messy. It has to be done in two series. Number one, issue certificates. Let that be a point of focus. Be done in a given timeline that the government is able to. And probably we are giving them for us. We think if it is done within the next 3 months, fine. If 3 months cannot do, then we can have a whole year of ensuring that every child in the Republic of Kenya has a birth certificate. Then from then onwards, it will be very easy to key in this information. The information will not even take a day. It will be done very quickly. But as things stand now, it is difficult to get the biodata of children, to get the birth certificate. And that is the challenge. The birth certificates cannot be generated by head teachers and teachers. Even the Ministry of Education itself cannot do that. It is done by another department of government, the Registrar of Death and Birth, that issues certificate. Let that department perform its role fast